Hello, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn land.
Whoa.
The internet. Welcome to S+Marketing Live. We're super excited to be here with you. We hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. I, for one, am loving the weather, and I recognize it will get hot again, at least in Virginia. I don't know where you are. Where we are, it's sort of like a pretend holiday from the heat. Yes.
And then it'll plummet to like 30 degrees.
That's right.
That's what it does. And
I
everybody
went
gets sick.
outside this morning. I walked outside in my shorts and t-shirt this morning, and it was actually cold.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that was me earlier. I was like, whoa, is it the 60s? Unheard of. Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
It's awesome. This weekend's supposed to get even chillier. Today's episode is called Customer Service, Willy Wonka, and Cybercrime. I know it sounds great, right? Such a great episode. This is S+Marketing Live. We're here to help you feel and be smarter about what's happening in the marketing world right now. What is S+Marketing? Gee gosh, thanks for asking. It's marketing based on the ultimate human technology, stories. Woo! Our team is here from Story Collaborative. We're a group of growth marketing consultants. And while we introduce ourselves, if y'all could share what's going on here or go grab a cookie or a coffee, something to get you through the rest of your Thursday. And let's get started with you, Dave. First, I'm going to turn on gallery mode so we can see all the beautiful faces.
Ooh. Howdy, everyone. Hope you're having a great Thursday. My name is Dave Mills. I'm the Chief Growth Officer here, and I want to tell you something important. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has already been invented when it comes to marketing, and you can do the things the same way that all the big brands and the growing companies do. So that's what I want to tell you, and we're going to have some fun today.
Ooh, intriguing. Chad, say hello and tell us about today's sponsor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chad Alexander, and I am the video strategist of Story Collaborative, helping businesses figure out their videos needs from pre-production to post-production and to deployment. And our sponsor today, ironically enough, is Firestone Tires. Thanks so much, Firestone Tires, not reinventing the wheel.
Oh my gosh. Chad's got jokes.
I got plenty
Jennifer,
of jokes, my friend.
Say hello. Tell us who you are.
Hello, I'm Jennifer, and I am the web therapist here at Story Collaborative. So I'm helping people with their websites. And also, I have a second sponsor from Spindrift. If you've never tried this before, it has real fruit. It's more like we're sponsoring them.
Is the fruit floating around in there, or is it mixed in?
It's definitely not floating around.
Okay, good.
This one has blackberry. Check this out. It says, real fruit tastes better. Carbonated water, blackberry juice, lemon juice, and blackberry puree.
Oh, there you go.
You will learn as you watch our many S+Marketing episodes that we just like to eat. And that's pretty much always our sponsor is food.
Pretty much.
It's also sometimes our important stories. So anyway, today's episode, I'm Amy Alexander. I'm a creative director. It's my goal and my role to make sure that brands feel unified, from the receptionist answering the phone to logos and colors and everything in between. All right, today's episode, Customer Service, Willy Wonka, and Cybercrime. We're going to talk to you all about why you can't market customer service as your primary differentiator. We'll talk about what cybercrime has to do with what's happening like in the craziness of COVID right now, as well as golden tickets. Are you intrigued? Because I am. We're going to start. Is that your I got a golden ticket dance?
Yes, I got a golden ticket. Yep, that's right.
We'll start with our first segment, Repeat After Me. We like to give you verbatim responses that you can give to your spouse, to your boss, to your crazy Uncle Harry about marketing, because we know that somehow you're supposed to hold all marketing knowledge and everyone wants it. Okay. First, Chad.
Yes.
My question is for you.
Okay.
When someone asks, hey man, what's the point of this Google My Business stuff? Do I really need a GMB profile? What do you tell them? And before you respond, there is a gift to go with this. Tell us all about your gift.
All right. So I thought it would be appropriate to have the gift from Aladdin where the genie is like, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? This is what you need. You need you need to have a Google My Business profile. And the reason for that is let's turn the clocks back a little bit to earlier this year. I know it's painful, but when businesses were starting to implement takeout, what did you do on your phone? You looked on your phone or you looked on your desktop and said, local Chinese place near me, do they do takeout? And so most of the time, what you would do is you would look in this little thing called a stack pack, because it has all the details, especially on desktop on the right-hand side, that shows you like their hours, the map, if they have multiple locations, whether or not they have takeout. So that's one of the first things you're going to look at. And if they hadn't updated it, guess what? You're going to look at their hours and you say 8 to 5. They're still in. And so you go to call, and guess what? You get the line that's busy, right? So it was important for a business to have a Google My Business profile during this time of COVID, but not only that, to actually update it. So if they had hours that were impacted by COVID, they could put those there, right? And it's always a good practice if you're going to, maybe you're small mom and pop shop or something, and you're going to be out for a week, put that in there as an update. You can do posts with Google My Business. There's a lot of cool things you can do. You can track, people coming to you and all this stuff. So check that out. If you haven't already done so, if you haven't claimed your profile, you need to have a physical address, and you need to get a postcard sent to you in the mail. So if you have any questions on Google My Business, there are so many blogs out there and stuff, and you can always come to us for information. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and it's pretty good resource for people to have.
Not to mention, working with Google on verifying your address is, it has to be comical, because if it's not comical, it's just the worst. So you just sort of have to laugh your way through the bizarre experience.
Yeah.
So everyone should get to experience that, right? Okay.
Yes.
Chad, do you have a question for someone else?
Yes, actually, Jennifer, I have a question for you.
Right.
So what do you tell your marketing team when you realize your website is just painfully slow? What do you tell them?
Oh man, this is a good one. Such a good one, because this is it really happened.
Oh man, I love that gift.
Like slothitis. So here's the thing. If someone actually told me that the website was slow, I would say verbatim, right? That's the concept, Amy. Is it loading slow for you, or is it loading slow for me? Because that's the first question. Is it really loading slow? Or is it actually just your computer, dude? Did you plug it in? Okay. Well, most likely, it actually really is slow. And the reality is, tons of websites out there are actually really slow. And website speed issues are serious, because statistics show, and statistics don't lie, right, guys? They show that people, half the people will leave the website if it doesn't load in 2 to 3 seconds. And 2 to 3 seconds is really fast. That's a pretty fast load time. So here's how you check if your website's slow or not, or if it's just the user error or not, is you just Google site speed test, and you're going to get a variety of options on actually testing your legitimate site speed. Now, one that I like to use is called, where'd it go? I lost the name. I'll come back to it.
You should Google site speed test.
Yeah, but I had it written down, and now it's gone. Just poof, it's gone. Anyway, I'll find it. And it's going to show you a couple things. So you test your site speed, and the first thing it's going to show you is how fast or slow your site actually is. And the second thing that it's going to show you is what is wrong with your website. Not just couple things, but it's going to show you everything that's wrong with your website. And it's probably, there it is, GT metrics. There it is. So it's going to show you what's wrong with your website. It's probably going to be a long list. So don't freak out, because websites like this, they're gonna give you a long list of things to fix on your website. And the reality is no website is perfect. So it's just gonna be, it's just gonna be what it is.
I just want to see if I can break the internet by doing that.
Break the internet. Do it.
I have it on good authority. If you type Google into Google, you can break the internet.
It's their newest Easter egg.
This is hilarious.
Guys, listen.
Guys, right now, this is pretty slow. So way to go, Google.
It's probably GT metrics, but anyway, you need to look at your images on your site, because a lot of times people will just get like iStock images and just upload them right from iStock. I'm totally guilty of doing this, and then it slows your site down. And the other thing is that people don't know this, but a lot of times the server that your website is on is actually the culprit. So you want to make sure you use like a really good server, like HubSpot, or if it's WordPress, like WP Engine. And that's pretty much it, guys. And if you really need help, you should reach out and ask somebody for help. Okay, that's what I tell my kids at homework time. So that's it.
Love it.
Awesome. Love it.
Do you have a question for someone else?
Yeah, of course.
Ooh,
I'm
cool.
going to try and stump Dave today. Dave, what do you tell your VP of customer experience when they say, why can't we use our amazing customer service as a headline in our marketing?
This is my favorite GIF right here. Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and turning it on again?
Such a good show, too.
That's my favorite. Customer service, you know. And this is what a lot of people think. They think that their customer service is something that makes them special. But here's the deal. Here's what you tell your VP of customer experience or whoever else is asking. You say this: we certainly can, as long as you don't mind our entire brand sliding off into obscurity. In reality, the reason we won't ever put our customer service in our headlines is because it's actually the minimum expectation that customers have for us. They assume that we will offer great service, and they expect everyone to say they offer great service. In short, it's just not a good differentiator. Now, there is a secret recipe for what should go into your headlines, and if you want to know, then Amy's going to put up a link, and you can talk with us about the secret recipe for what headlines should have in them. We now know what they should not have. So there you go.
Brilliant. There's something that it's like this concept that I really think is interesting. It's called the what is it called? It's called the competitive ecosystem, and it's this idea that you have competitive like landscape, right? Your direct competitors, but then there's the competitive ecosystem, when things that are not competitors affect how people perceive and interact with your brand and what their expectations are. So for instance, my favorite example is Amazon, right? They normalized and institutionalized 2-day shipping. And now, as a culture in America, we're sort of just used to 2-day shipping. So when we experience another e-commerce brand, we pretty much expect it to come in 2 days and we expect it to be really cheap. And when it's neither of those things, then we're comparing you to someone who's not even your competitor. So customer service, I think, is one of those things. They just sort of, lots and lots of brands have perfected customer service. So when you don't have it, regardless of what your competitors are doing, then you're sort of just failing. So
it's pretty much like saying, hey, we're about the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
We're normal. We're average.
Hey, I got a question. Average. I got a question for you, Amy.
Ooh, for me. Okay.
Cool.
So, Amy, what do you do when a client asks and said, you know, Amy, I'm kind of thinking we might need to rebrand. What do you think?
We might need to rebrand. This actually happened to us recently. We had a really great client say, hey, just a heads up, I might be interested in rebranding. What should I do? So my instant response to this question, we've talked about rebranding a little bit.
Should
in the
be a
last
gift.
couple episodes.
Your instant response should be a gift.
There will be.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay, good.
It's coming.
Just want to make sure you don't forget.
But sometimes the question shouldn't be like, is this a good rebrand, or how do I convince investing in rebrand? Sometimes the question is, should I even be rebranding? And here's my response initially. I think a lot of people expect, because they asked me that question, right? I'm the brand expert here. And they're asking me and they're expecting me to be like, yeah, you should totally rebrand because it's super fun and we have a great designer and we're going to get to cool colors. It's going to be super fun. That's what they're expecting me to say. Because it makes us money, right? When you rebrand. But the reality is that rebranding is often a really, really terrible choice. And so the first answer is maybe, but why? Here's the thing. A shiny new website is people's, often that's their sort of go-to for fixing lack of leads or lack of new customers. Same thing with a logo. People go and they think a shiny new logo or name or visual rebrand is going to somehow give them an entirely new customer base. And that's just not true. It's like that old idea, if they build it, they will come. If we build it, they will come, right? That hasn't been true for like a super long time. It's the same thing with rebranding. Rebranding does not somehow do anything. But positive. It doesn't necessarily do anything positive. It can do something negative. So if you have a lot of brand equity is essentially the currency of branding. It's lots and lots and lots of people who identify and love your brand. That's called brand equity. Those people think they own your brand. Even though they don't, they think they do. So I love Disney. I love Target. If either of those rebranded, I would have a lot of feelings about those things because I think I own them, right? So if you have a lot of brand equity and you rebrand, then you could create a lot of animosity in that relationship, that invisible relationship you have with your current loyal customers. If that's not an issue for you, then the question is, why? So it's probably a good idea if your reason is our logo is super duper ridiculously outdated and it's incredibly embarrassing. Our logo was designed by someone's niece who YouTubed how to use Facebook or how to use Photoshop, and it's incredibly embarrassing. We have completely shifted what we sell, how we sell, and who we sell to. The last probably yes is we have a major competitor who's incredibly similar to our name and brand, and people actually confuse us for being the same place, right? All those are really good reasons to rebrand. A probably no is going to be if we just like need something fun and fresh to engage our audience, Or my niece said that it's dumb and X-Genners or Z-Genners aren't going to like it. And the last one is it's just like been a while. I feel like we just need to like freshen up. Yeah, none of those are really great reasons to be rebranding. You have to have a better reason than that. That is my answer.
Can I give a quick example?
Of course.
So Michael Eisner back in the 90s, he wanted to kind of rebrand Disney World because his 13-year-old son thought Disney was not cool. So what they did is they did more adult rides, and one of the rides that they put in was like the alien encounter, right? So, and all these people were like, this is not Disney. And then they eventually reduced it down to Lilo and Stitch kind of attraction. So it's like, you got to make sure you know your audience when you rebrand and be very careful with it. So that right there, like even Disney screws this up. So tread lightly.
Tread lightly. That's a great phrase for that. Tread lightly. All right, let's move on to our next segment, Term of the Week. Dave, what you got?
Okay, just a little warning. I am about to bring the hammer of Thor down on WordPress. Sorry. I want to let you know that earlier this year, the FBI informed the world that cybercrime had increased ×4 during the COVID crisis. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. I want to talk today specifically, the term of the week is, ready? WordPress Fishing. And that is not with a fishing pole. That's Phishing. So phishing is one of the most inexpensive and easy ways for hackers to access sensitive information. And right now, there are a number of targets, cybercrime targets. WordPress site administrators, that might be you, are one of the targets of global phishing efforts that are designed to get credentials and access. It's being orchestrated around the world by bad actors. Many of them are not even, we don't know who they are. Its primary objective is to get personal information by forcing people to reveal personal information voluntarily. Beyond just getting credentials, they have other things in mind. So the way this works is that phishing attack would go like this. The hacker very easily actually gets access to your WordPress website. He then or she then creates a page that is hidden from view. It's not in the menu. You don't know it's there. It's in a folder somewhere. And they begin to use this page as the credibility to reach out to your customers, to your clients, to your patients, for the purpose of getting their personal information. That could include credit cards, social security numbers, date of birth, passwords, usernames, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, once they get those, they can do all kinds of things, including just sell them to another hacker. So that's how the phishing attack works. And WordPress has become one of the magnets for that. So during this year, about 90% of all cybercrime is beginning with a phishing email. For the average business, this approach, the minimum cost for businesses who have this happen to them is about 25 grand every time it happens. So it's very significant what the damage does. And it opens not only the door for getting personal information and selling it or using it, it opens the door for malware being put on people's computers, ransomware. We have had several clients that had ransomware attacks, fortunately not through the websites we provided, but they lost everything because they didn't want to pay the ransom. They can also use your computer server to create a network of attack to attack other people. They can commit fraud. What's that? Fraud on your clients. And unfortunately, WordPress is one of the easiest places for this to happen. So here's our advice. Just straight up, our advice is get your website onto a SaaS management system pronto. And if you want to learn more about what that means, SaaS means software as a service. If you want to learn more about what that means, there's a link there that Amy's putting up. We'll be happy to talk to you about different options you might have for getting your website into a secure space. If you're in home care, senior care, or managed services, MSPs, you are a primary target for hackers this year. So be aware of that. This is a warning and a friendly reminder that you need to be safe out there.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, actually. Pretty scary to think your entire business could be taken down because some guy on the internet, could be a girl. Really
well, and and the myth, Amy, the myth is that people think that if they don't have sensitive information, like they don't store credit card data or something on the website, that would make them less attractive to a hacker. Not true. Because really the goal here is to use your site to get people's information in a more sophisticated way. Makes
sense. And also, it's terrible. All right, thanks for that, Dave. Let's move on to ads in the wild. Roar. This is all about when your competitive advantage is price. Let's watch the commercial and then talk about what that even means. Wait, hold on. I've done it again, everyone. I shared it wrong, but at least this time I figured it out before I even tried. Okay.
This is Amy's lessons on how not to share.
That's right. Oh, did I share the whole thing? Oh my gosh.
You can do this. I believe
Lesson number
in you.
2.
I don't know
actually
if I
share
can.
when you were on Zoom. Thank you, Amy. We appreciate that.
Okay. I did it, everybody.
Yay!
You would think that I don't use Zoom all day long. All right. Let's do this.
It's hard to believe that Mint Mobile has gone so long without an unlimited plan. So to introduce it, we brought in an actor we've all gone too long without. Rick Moranis.
So what do you want me to do? You want me to say something about Mint?
No, that would have been smart. But no, it's $30. It's unlimited. It'll do just fine.
Sounds good. I really got to get a phone. So why am I here?
I'm just a huge fan.
Oh, stop it. Come on,
No,
stop it.
seriously. Massive.
That's it?
That's it.
See ya.
Bye, Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis. It's hard to believe that Mint Mobile has gone.
So I love,
Amazing.
amongst all the things about the commercial, it's so funny. That little sign, they're like clearly in front of a green screen with just like a few plants in front of their feet. And the little sign, cardboard, that says mint field, arrow. Like, this is why this really cheap set's relevant, because it's a mint field. Anyway, so competitive advantage. Now, normally, price would not be a competitive advantage. Like, it's just not something that any of us want to talk about. Most of us are built a business model that is all about value. It's all about how our product is really worth paying a premium for. It's the only way, not only is it the only way we can stay in business, but it's the only way we can provide services that are actually good, right? Like to not be the cheapest one on the market. Mint.com, not so much. They're sort of like, well, relative to everybody else, we're incredibly cheap and we have an unlimited plan. So let's just tell people that. And Rick Moranis, he's having like this huge comeback. I don't really follow celebrities that much. Chad does, which is why I know this. But he lost his wife to cancer, I believe. Is that right, Chad? He lost his wife many years ago.
Seriously?
And he's just sort of been like
that.
out of the acting scene for a while, and now he's just like back. And anyway, so I thought very clever.
I thought he wanted to just focus on his family. That's why he hasn't been anything since early 2000s.
I believe that his wife died. Yeah.
Okay.
But we digress.
Yeah,
Anyway.
there you go.
We can fact check. But anyway, it's super clever, and relatively very cheap ad. It's sort of like Geico's like 15 minutes or less, say 15% of your car. You know, it's just like this this is what we offer. And this is why we're awesome.
I'm not sure that having Ryan Reynolds and Rick Moranis on an ad would qualify as a cheap ad. The production value is cheap. But
that's why I said relatively.
The talent fee was a little pricey.
Right. But that's why I said relatively, because they were really just paying for the actors, and that was it.
To be fair, it is Ryan Reynolds. It's his company. So it probably was a little bit cheaper.
I didn't know that was his company.
Oh, really?
Rick Moranis. Yeah.
Self-promotion.
He pretty much
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. So he pretty much only had to buy Rick Moranis' time, which, you know, with the Disney merger, it might not have been much.
Like I said.
What's that?
I said, unless it was a favor, you know.
Yeah.
Actors do that sometimes.
Yeah, just for the record, his wife died in 1991 of cancer. Very sad. All right.
That's terrible.
Let's move on to not sad things. How about the brief? Chad, can you tell us briefly what the brief's about?
I've got a golden ticket. Okay, guys, since last the 8th, so last Tuesday, there has been a contest going on, and it's for the golden ticket. Now, this is basically Willy Wonka 2.0 for the new age. And David Klein, he's the original inventor of Jelly Belly, which Jelly Belly would like to remind you that Jelly Belly in no way sponsors this contest. He is giving away $5,000 to one lucky person in each of the 50 states. And he's also giving away a factory in Florida that someone would manage, like Willy Wonka, and giving it to Charlie in Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory, right? Pretty cool stuff. The minute he posted the goldticket.com and talked about the contest, the site went down. they had to add more servers and all this stuff and make sure that everybody could get on. The site is live now, right? And now if you want to enter in the contest, there are some caveats, some quid pro quos, to quote more of Aladdin today. That's a theme. You have to make sure that you have $50 to shell out. You have to have a Facebook account. And and there's no guarantee. Of course, there's no guarantee that you're going to get a golden ticket. And unfortunately, you have to buy a candy bar in order to get this. But if you want to know more, thegoldticket.com. I don't know why it's not the golden ticket. Maybe that was already taken by Willy Wonka. But pretty successful PR move.
You really have to pay $50 to enter?
You have to pay $50 to enter.
And what do you get for your $50?
You know what?
Well,
it doesn't matter because it's sold out in Virginia.
Oh, I didn't know it was sold out in Virginia. What? That's crazy.
Oh my God.
So there you go. Yeah, you get the chance to win a factory in Florida.
I think that's
he is
gambling,
not disclosed. You know, hey, it might be. You never know.
It's the chance to live out Willy Wonka in your own life, right? Like that's what you're paying for.
I think you have to get a gambling permit if you're going to offer games of chance in which you collect money like that. But anyway, who knows?
I don't know.
Hey guys, it's still available in South Carolina, just so you know.
Woo-hoo! There you go. Well,
everyone in South Carolina is like, y'all are suckers.
Yep. So there you go. Hey, that was a good one, Amy. Good pun use there. So there you go. Yep. All right,
cool.
guys.
Thanks for sharing, Chad. Good find.
Yeah.
Jennifer, can you close us out with some website therapy?
I would love to, Amy, because we all need therapy. So this is website therapy, just to be clear. Is your website experiencing a lack of connection with its visitors? Having trouble relating? Is it struggling with a sense of identity or trait consistency? If your website is having trouble identifying with any human characteristics, then it may be suffering from multiple personality disorder, or more currently referred to as dissociative personality disorder. Websites with this disorder do not have more than one personality, but rather less than one personality. Most of us website owners don't actually realize it, but our websites have to establish a sense of self, just like a person does. And we call this brand personality. Some common ways of discovering this personality disorder are simply to just ask, is my website extroverted or introverted? Does it have an ego? What are the emotions and motivations that people can relate to when visiting the website? And what kind of attitude and values is the website giving off? When we talk about brand personality, we are talking about some stable traits among brands and people. So like daring, imaginative, competent, intelligence, reliability. Is it charming or is it masculine or feminine? If this is your website, don't worry. There are treatment options available for personality disorders for websites. But to verify your diagnosis, you will need to go over to the Story Collaborative website, which Amy will link, and take the personality quiz. Then you're also going to need to schedule a consultation with a web therapist. And also, this specific web therapy includes brand therapy as well. The therapists will do a deep dive on your brand and help identify any gaps that your website may have to expressing its true personality, like design, imagery, media, style, and tone. And does it need a rebrand? I don't know. It's a question. So next week, we'll learn about another website problem and solution. So stay tuned for signs and symptoms of the slowness disease, slothitis. That's all I have.
That sounds
Pretty
like such
good.
a cute disorder.
Oh, little sloth. So cute.
All right. Thanks, Jen. That was great. Everyone, thank you so much for being here with us. We had a great time with you. We hope you have a lovely Thursday, a fabulous weekend. And remember, stories are the ultimate human technology. We'll see you here on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, 12 o'clock Eastern next Thursday. Bye, everybody.
So long.